All right, it is time now once again for the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast. My name is Elias Mellis, but you can call me Eli for short. And who is this incredibly sexy, attractive, gorgeous lady to my right? I'm emphasizing the adjectives because she got on my case before the show for not paying her enough compliments, which I usually do. But hey, I hope that's suffice, babe. I hope that's sufficient.
Yes, and I'm Dawn Ledgerwood. I'm your girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
All I was looking for was just, like every woman, I should say, most women I know appreciate if you put the effort in to look nice for something that we're doing. It's nice just to hear for you to say, hey babe, that looks good on you, or you did your hair good, whatever.
You look great, babe. And
thank you.
And yeah, isn't that so, babe? That's the way it goes.
Well, and you know, I knew exactly what you would say to me, but it's just nice hearing it.
All right. Anyway, let's move forward here. Welcome back to another episode of the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast. This is episode number 46, and today we have one of the most important topics to discuss here. We're going to be talking about the fact that we support Don Lemon and the First Amendment. One more time. Episode number 46 of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast is titled, We Support Don Lemon and the First Amendment. First of all, babe, you are the female Don,
yes.
D-A-W-N, and he's the male Don, D-O-N. And people... we have to mention this at the beginning of the show
stupid.
Here.
Yeah.
People, even like females nowadays, when you give them your name, like even at a doctor's appointment, they spell your name D-O-N, or they ask you to spell D-O-N. No, it's D-A-W-N.
Yeah, break a day, bottle of soap, whatever. But my mom, because it's like she has the accent, she'll say Dawn. And that sounds not like Dawn.
On.
Yes, because
on.
That is how it's spelled.
D-A-W-N. On.
Right? That's how it's spelled.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, it is frustrating.
For male Dawn, it's Dawn. For female Dawn, it's Dawn.
Well, you don't have to emphasize it, but it's Dawn. Yes. But yeah, it is frustrating going to like Starbucks. And, you know, it's one thing when it's like this young kid, like a young boy, 17 years old.
When it's like a 25, 30, 35-year-old professional.
They should know better. Or at least ask, how do you spell your name?
Right,
you know?
Do you think the lack of education here in the U.S. is part of that problem, babe?
I'm not thinking so much of lack of education as
common sense.
More of a lack of interest in knowing all these, like, just common courtesy things. Just, you know, they're disassociated with the rest of the world.
Well, doesn't common courtesy and common sense go hand in hand?
Well, absolutely, but it doesn't exist anymore for some people.
That's true in this modern world.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's just the young people. That's the old people too. But yeah, no, I love my name. I didn't always love my name. I was made fun of.
I helped you learn to love your name, right?
You had an assist.
I had an assist. Okay.
Yeah, you have the assist there.
Mm.
You know, people made fun of me at school and just stupid things like the Dawn soap and the break a day and all of that, you know, childish stuff.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really like it at that time.
Okay.
And my mom said she was going to name me Jennifer, but there were way too many Jennifers in 1975. So she changed it last minute to Dawn. And
aren't you glad she did that?
Yeah, I guess I am. I don't think I'm a Jennifer.
That makes you a lot more unique and special.
Yeah, you don't hear my name as often.
Well, I mean, Dawn is not an uncommon name for a female, babe.
Oh, I know, but you just don't hear it as often as you would hear other names.
That's because if you're named the female version of Dawn, then you're extremely special.
Yeah.
Let's just roll with that.
Let's just
go with that. High five.
Let's just trump that one, huh?
Absolutely.
No,
Let's move.
no pun intended.
Yeah, let's move forward because we have a lot of stuff to talk about here today. This is a very interesting topic. I've got my take on it. So does Don. And actually, this topic was completely Don's idea. We do have some Reddit postings to go over, 5 of them. We're only using those to show you how people are reacting to this, and we're going to react to them reacting. And we're going to be also showing you reactions from both the left and the right, the liberal perspective and the conservative perspective, right? So,
Yeah.
we're like News Nation here. We're fair brokers. Like, even though you and I are slightly on the left, we're more down the middle. We want to hear from both sides and try to make it reasonable. We want everyone to be reasonable, and we want everyone to also be able to get along. But it's been a problem in this country lately, primarily because of our president, Donald J. Trump. Like, he's causing this divide himself.
Well, what I've been learning, because getting more into politics and all of that stuff, I'm learning that a lot of the Republican presidents were very much like Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just loud about it. The other people slid it under the rug.
The other presidents didn't do these ICE raids that
No.
involve the killing of innocent people that are just peacefully protesting.
No.
So you cannot. Honestly, I respect.
You know what I'm talking. Just because I just got fired up over it.
Yeah.
Because I was listening to the chicks saying it's not ready to make nice, and that was written towards George Bush, the younger one, George W. Bush.
Yes,
right?
the son.
And the son. Because he did not like something that she was either protesting or said about him in the social.
The one that only lasted one term, and Saturday Night Live used to make fun of him all the time.
Yeah, and so she wrote this song, and what one line in it, it says something about it's a sad something when a mother has to teach her daughter that she has to hate a perfect stranger, and then it comes down to when, I got to be silenced in order to sing, like, keep your mouth shut, sing, or you'll be gone. Like,
well, that was back in the 80s, wasn't it?
90s.
Early 90s.
The chicks are 90s.
It was in the early 90s before Obama.
Oh, way before Obama
got into office. Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
It's like, shut up and sing or my life will be over, is that line. And that gives me chills. And it thinks of, stuff that our current president is doing. Now, he's just making it bold and outright, where those were sly little things that these other presidents had done. They didn't, it's like just sly digs at people that nobody, that was a big thing. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
they were sneakier.
It's a lot deeper than that. And once I share my thoughts, your thoughts are fantastic. I'm just saying, I've been more involved in the political spectrum than you have. And so when you hear what I say, I'm sure it's going to make a lot of sense and you're going to have a lot more to say. But there's a lot more that Donald Trump is doing to create this all by himself. This, in my opinion, is 100% the responsibility of Donald J. Trump, our president.
Yes.
And I'm going to share why. We're going to share why. And look, this is not an attack on conservatives or Trump supporters. We have many friends that are Trump supporters. We love all of you for who you are. But we really wish that, the political party system would just go away and we would all just be the same. And we would have just a president that wouldn't, cater, his presidency to only the people that voted for him or still support him. And then the other people, are basically sharing their thoughts about their concerns on what he's doing, are being arrested. It's like Trump is going after his enemies by arresting them in ways unlike anything we've ever seen in any other administration. It's like he's trying to silence and put away his critics, which is a big no-no in regards to the First Amendment. And look, nobody is slandering or defaming Donald J. Trump. Everything is true. Everything that the people are saying, now some people may be saying some things that are not true, but for the most part, the people that are getting arrested, or, being indicted because of what Donald J. Trump is telling the administration to do, they're innocent people that have not, said anything unlawful or done anything unlawful. So in my opinion, it all stems back to Trump. We're going to get more into it. But first, babe, real quick, how's the past week gone? Real brief. We don't have to get too far in it.
Yeah, no, I really don't have much to talk about. I mean, the only sad thing that really happened is I had my last physical therapy appointment with my primary physical therapist. I have one more with one of her assistants, but it was sad because, you get attached to these
emotional
people.
Attachment.
Yes. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm never going to see you again. And realizing she's literally like right next door to my other therapist. And I'm sure they'll sneak me in to say hi,
Absolutely.
But yeah, just a normal emotional, just, I wouldn't go as far as abandonment, but just a loss.
No, you just get attached to the people that have made your life better.
Yes.
She has really helped you. And
I told my doctor, my therapist, I said, do not ever tell them that I am like better. Like, because I don't want the insurance to say, oh, if she's better, then okay.
Well,
I'm like, tell them I am crazy as crazy.
When it comes to therapy, even insurance companies understand therapy is ongoing.
Yeah.
So therapy is ongoing. And when you get therapy, you're actually saving the insurance money technically, because therapy is grounding you in ways to where you don't make mistakes that you accidentally hurt yourself
or somebody else,
and then it costs them more money. So like therapy, they're like, we'll just keep her there forever, because if we keep her sane, then she's not a liability risk.
If we keep the crazy out of her, then that's all good.
Then the liability risk is far less. We won't have to pay out as many claims, right?
Yes.
And that's the name of the game right there. It's about mitigating, liability. So yeah, when it comes to therapy, that's ongoing, like mental therapy, emotional therapy. But when it comes to physical therapy, that does end unless your primary care physician puts another referral in and justifies the need for it. Once your physical pain has healed and you don't need it anymore, there's no need for the insurance company to pay for something just because you're emotionally attached to it. Right?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. But I get it.
Yeah.
And I love you for that. I mean, you and
I'm compassionate, and I'm very loyal, and I get attached. And that's just my nature. I don't know if that's the Taurus in me.
No, you're a lady.
Well, I think it goes beyond that, because clearly we have seen other ladies that don't act that way.
Well, I mean, I'm a man and I get emotionally attached, but I've learned as I've gotten older that sometimes you've got to learn when to detach, because that can affect you. And the same thing for ladies, but it's much harder for women to detach because it's part of your natural biology, right?
Yeah, well, that was kind of one of the things I said on the, like in my quote on your walk, is about the people you choose to have in your life can lead to your ultimate destruction.
Absolutely.
So if you have somebody continuously like leeching the life out of you, that's when you need to put yourself first and put that person at a distance. So, because you'll become destroyed if you become involved and infused into their life.
Yeah. So, no, you're absolutely right. And in other words, it's what I've been saying all along. You are who you associate with.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. Don't associate with people that you're not in alignment with, because then you're going to end up becoming like them, which is not really who you are, right?
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. But anyway, anything else, babe, or should we get right to it?
Let's roll, baby. All
right. So we're going to start off this show here. I have some information that I did some research on, and I already know the story. I'm going to read the story about what happened at the protest where Don Lemon was at.
Yes.
And I actually, the day it happened, earlier this past week, well, we're recording this on Sunday, February 1st, 2025. It'll be released throughout the entire podcast network, including YouTube, on Wednesday, February 4th, 2026. Did I say 2025 again? I think I did it again. Today,
I didn't catch it.
Today is Sunday, February 1st, 2026. It'll be released on Wednesday, February 4th, 2026. It's the new year. We all have to get used to that, right?
Yeah, which means you will be listening to this one day after my baby girl, my granddaughter's second birthday.
Wow, happy birthday to her.
I mean, February is a blissful month for me.
But I actually, I was watching Chris Cuomo on his show on News Nation the day this happened. You have not seen that episode. I saved it on the DVR for you. And it was really interesting because Chris was saying he didn't necessarily agree with everything that Don Lemon says or does. And I feel the same way. I actually like most of what he does because I think it takes balls to stand up to this administration where, many people in the mainstream media and in big corporate, they've capitulated to Donald Trump because they're afraid Donald Trump is going to do things to affect their business. And, Chris usually does not capitulate. I kind of feel like he kind of was a little bit on that episode, but he did stand up for the First Amendment, and he was there as a journalist. And he also mentioned, yes, he used to work with Don Lemon at CNN before they both, I believe Don Lemon also got fired. Chris Cuomo got fired. We know it was over his brother's situation. We don't have to get back into that. People know the story. And if you don't, you can look it up. But then Don Lemon, I believe he was fired as well. I mean, let me just look it up.
I think he said that on the one YouTube thing we were watching.
Yes, Don Lemon was fired from CNN in April 2023 after 17 years with the network, stating he was stunned and was informed by his agent rather than management. The firing followed controversial on-air remarks about women and aging alongside declining viewership. The bottom line was ratings, right? And they had to come up with an excuse. Anyway, he's on YouTube now. He's got his own YouTube channel with 1.1 million subscribers. And as an independent journalist, he has a lot more flexibility.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like I said earlier, I really didn't know who Don Lemon was or what he stood for, anything about him really, until I woke up that day and I started seeing things on my news feeds, and then he tells me about it. And so I kind of just started looking into him a little bit more. And to me, myself, he does not come off to be over extremist. He does not like people could compare him or are comparing him to like a Charlie Kirk. And he's not that extreme. He has good points. He says them calmly. He says them literally to the point. And I actually have comfort from him.
Interesting, but check this out. Because I used to watch both Chris Cuomo and Don Lemon when they were both on CNN. And here's the Google AI overview. Don Lemon routinely followed Chris Cuomo on CNN, with the two engaging in a popular, often banter-filled handoff, kind of like what he does now on News Nation.
Yeah,
with Leland Bitter
and the girl before him.
Well, before him is I cannot remember her name.
I see her face like vividly.
Yeah, I cannot remember.
But it's the handoff. It's a handoff from one show to another, and they banter a little bit.
This is the handoff from when he's about to end his show. Chris is about to end his show to the next person. And he used to do that with Don Lemon on CNN. And, Cuomo's show was called Cuomo Prime Time, and then Don Lemon Tonight. until Cuomo's termination in 2021. While viewers enjoyed the on-screen chemistry, Cuomo later claimed the handoffs were orchestrated by former CNN boss Jeff Zucker to mitigate what Lemon might say. Oh God, man, this is terrible. This is where I'm going to actually agree with the Republicans and the conservatives, where CNN was a little bit too liberal there. Like, this is even too liberal for me, like trying to control speech, trying to control the truth, trying to put on a narrative that works for CNN and their sponsors rather than giving the audience the real truth of the matter. Go ahead.
And that's what News Nation does with Chris. They give him the floor to say what he wants. For the most part. Yeah, I mean, of course, there's going to be some things that they have to put restrictions on.
Cuomo said he would have never gone on behalf of News Nation to the church, even as a journalist. He said that is journalistic responsibility when you're working for a major cable company in the mainstream media. That's part of the problem right there that we're going to be discussing here today, but go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just, go ahead.
So, to mitigate what Lemon might say, though, Lemon disputed this, asserting he could manage the interaction himself. Yeah, I like both. Who would I believe a little bit more there? I'm going to be honest with you. I believe Lemon. I'll tell you why. Chris Cuomo's an attorney. Chris Cuomo knows the law. Chris Cuomo knows, now he knows, why he got fired at CNN. It was for basically trying to help his brother out with his case, because Cuomo's an attorney. And anyone would have done that for their brother. I think they were just trying to get Cuomo out because he was making a lot of money. And anyway, whatever, right? But I believe Lemon in this case more than Cuomo, because Lemon has always been one that stands up for the truth, even if it risks his job, which I respect that, because that's not capitulating to, corporate management. That's not capitulating to Donald J. Trump and fearing that he's going to take action against these networks, cable or regular TV networks like NBC, CBS, Fox, and ABC, right? So it's not that I don't believe Chris, it's that he's a little more careful. He's always been a little more careful than Don Lemon, and now Chris is even more careful.
I get what you're saying, but I feel he has a little bit more leeway at News Nation.
He does. He has more leeway than he had at CNN, but he doesn't have the leeway that Don Lemon has, being independent. And
yes.
Yeah, and Don Lemon, now, the thing about Don Lemon I respect is that it didn't matter whether he was mainstream media on cable news or ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, or now as an independent journalist on his own YouTube channel. He's always been himself. He's always been about the truth. And he's never capitulated to the oligarchs. You've heard the phrase oligarchy, right?
Oh, we hear it all the time during this presidency.
Well, that's because Trump loves the oligarchs and he caters everything to the oligarchs because he's one himself, right? In my opinion, of course. Right? Go ahead.
Yes. No, I have nothing to say. Nothing to say.
So let's get into this here, because the first part, I'm going to read this. We're going to get a few thoughts, and then you'll take your break, and then we're going to come back and get to the Reddit postings that are going to share what the people are thinking here in the U.S. from the left and the right.
It's wonderful.
It's interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we are at 24 minutes. Here's what's going on with that protest at the church that Don Lemon was at. What the protest was about. A group of demonstrators entered a Sunday service at City's Church in St. Paul, Minnesota, to protest against U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE for short, and the pastor's alleged role as an ICE official. They were chanting slogans like "ICE out." I thought it was pretty cool, to be honest with you. Ice them out. They say that on YouTube. If you want someone to stop talking about you, you don't talk about them. You ice them out or starve them out of content, right?
Yeah.
So they were saying, "Ice out, ICE."
That's
I know, 'cause
hysterical. It's just, yeah.
you being on YouTube with me and learning the lingo, and now you know how this works. You're like hearing these phrases, and you're like, "Oh my God, man, I'm really sucked into this now, huh?"
Yeah.
I'm sucked into this social media thing where what I say matters, huh?
Well, yeah, what I say matters, but it just, it's crazy. When I started dating him, and there were some derogatory words that people were saying about you. And in my, at that time, 47 years on this planet, I had never heard of this expression. And you know what one I'm talking about.
Yeah, we don't have to say it here.
No. And it was just like, I guess even though I didn't think I lived a sheltered life, but I did in a sense that I didn't know what those things were called. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And now it's going into my mainstream TV. It's like, the first time I heard it on Criminal Minds, I almost fell off the couch, and I just, it's just crazy. It just, you see where I'm getting at. It's just fucking
I hear
crazy.
you. Yeah, you learn a lot of new things when you become a part of the media, and YouTube's part of the media now. We're basically practically independent journalists, babe. So welcome.
Non-paid.
Yeah, but let's continue here. They were chanting slogans like "Ice Out" and "Justice for Renee Good," referring to a fatal shooting of a woman by an ICE officer that had sparked wider unrest and demonstrations in the area. There are people that are dying for no reason because Trump is sending in ICE to do these raids, and people are peacefully protesting as part of their First Amendment rights. And these ICE agents are using deadly force,
Unnecessary deadly force.
And then they're basically being pardoned by Trump.
Yeah.
It's like giving remember the movie License to Kill? What was that, James Bond?
Mm-hmm.
It's like being given a license to kill by the president.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it is. It's.
Go ahead. You have a lot to say.
I mean,
you don't want to say the wrong thing, huh?
Yeah. I just really.
You're catching yourself. This is good. You're learning.
I'm learning how to stop and try to rethink my words.
You have learned the filter for YouTube.
Oh yeah, and that's hard because I didn't come with a filter.
Well, I don't have a filter either, but you have to. You don't want to get platform enforced, but also we want to be respectful as much as possible too, right?
Yeah, I had to kind of go back to when I was working, when I was, in school, the behavior that I would be then. It's just that. But go on.
Okay. So the protest was essentially an anti-ICE demonstration that specifically disrupted a worship service to call attention to concerns about immigration enforcement and use of force by federal agents. Now, there are laws regarding people having the right to worship and all that, and to not have their services disrupted. I understand and respect that. But I also understand why people wanted to bust into this church and do it without violence or hurting anyone, just basically making a statement to the congregation and saying that you have a pastor here that's an ICE official.
Agent. Yeah.
And it's contradicting, what the church stands for, contradicting what the church stands for compared to what's actually happening in their community there through ICE. People wrongfully dying.
Yeah,
right?
I was just thinking when these officers got into these positions of immigration control, I'm sure that they didn't think that they would be having to do this, I'm wondering if a lot of them have thought about retiring, quitting, getting into another part of the police department. Because I don't think if I took a job that was to enforce a law, to whatever, random people, that's one thing. But when you're taking a whole group in a church or a whole group in a store, and you're isolating them and disturbing them, and you're shooting before you're asking any questions. That's the problem.
You have to understand, babe, some of these agents have been there 10, 15 years, 17 years. Some of them are just a few years away from getting a full-blown pension. And so, you're looking at, okay, do I really want to do this? No. If I quit now and do something else, I'm going to lose my pension or get less of a pension. You understand?
Yeah. But I think about the end game and where I'm going to be at those gates and what's going to be told to me.
Well, the thing is, babe, when people have to choose between money to survive and their morality, they're going to choose money almost every time. You and I.
Yeah, and there's a moral way to earn money versus an immoral way, and that's what I'm saying.
Right, but before Trump got into office for his second term and started forcing ICE agents to go do these raids, they didn't have to deal with this. So is it really their fault?
It is not their fault.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's their fault at all. They're doing their job. But I'm just wondering if some of them feel like this is a little excessive.
A little. They probably feel it's something they don't feel comfortable doing. But what are they going to do?
Yeah.
They
either quit or they do it or get fired.
Their boss is Donald J. Trump. Well, I mean, what are you going to do?
Quit my job and move to Canada.
I would quit. I would quit.
I would move out of this country. Let's go to Greece.
I would quit and prefer to live under an overpass and have to deal with
under
this.
A rock.
Yeah, exactly. But let's continue here.
We'll just go to Greece, baby.
Huh?
We'll just go to Greece.
That sounds good. Why Don Lemon was there. Lemon, who is an independent journalist and former CNN anchor, was covering the protest for his live stream/show. He was.
Mm-hmm.
When it happened, the federal government later charged him and others with federal civil rights offenses, alleging they interfered with the rights of worshipers. And that's not why they were there. Even if Don Lemon was there to protest, the reason they were there to protest were because of these unlawful killings, in most people's opinions, unjustified, shootings and killings by these ICE agents, right? And because, look, if you have a priest or someone high up in the church that is an ICE official, that's very contradicting to the beliefs that they're preaching out to their congregation. So you're looking at a whole lot of wrong here, morally, ethically, legally. And there's a whole lot of chaos happening here, which is exactly what Trump wants. Keep that in mind. Trump loves chaos because when you have chaos, it shifts your focus away from what's really going on. 2026 election year for midterms. Trump has been losing support. The Democrats are gaining, and they're going to overtake the House and the Senate unless Trump does some miraculous shift before the election later this year.
That shift would be giving us our federal health credits. I think if he gave them all back, that would shift.
That's just one aspect. Babe, listen, that is one aspect.
That's a big aspect for a lot of Americans.
Yes, it is a big aspect, but there are so many more things. The cost of food has gone way up, way up. The cost of food has gone way up. And that's what's stressed me out. Now, we make ends meet. Right? Even fast food has gone way up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like literally fast food for two right now, you're looking at $30, $40, $50.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the meals, like, the burger, fries, and a shake is like $16, $17. So you look at that's one person. You do two people, that's 40. And then, oh my God, heaven forbid you have two more people in your family.
Here in California, and we increased the minimum wage. That's part of the reason, but the prices have gone up everywhere. Do you remember back in the days you used to get like 2 for $4 Big Macs? Like Big Macs, $2 a piece.
Remember you could get like a 69-cent bean burrito at Taco Bell or Taco? Right.
So now the Big Mac is almost $7. It's like $6.89 or something. Like $7 for a Big Mac.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, you know what? It's like worse quality. They don't put the effort in as much, you know. It's like I've even noticed, like, even with the fries, these people don't care. They just toss them
Large
in.
fries, $5.
$5 and they give you like 17 French fries.
It used to be $2, $1.75, $2.
No, large fries, $1. Large Coke or sodas and a large fries were $1 for a while.
They had the dollar menu for a while. And I think there are still some items on there, or you can get some deals, but it's the cost has gone way up.
Yeah, I mean that is something. It's something that Trump thinks that it has it, or he's brought it down.
No, he knows he has it. He's just not talking about it.
Yeah, well, he kept saying, like the last time I watched him, he's like, the gas prices have come down dramatically, and the food prices.
Gas prices have stabilized. They're still expensive, especially here in California.
Yeah, and I mean, we could say that to the other people in the country, but really paying $3.89 a gallon of gas is actually really cheap for California right now, and like the gas prices, like he said, yeah, they stabilized, but we might not be spending $17 on a carton of eggs, but we're still spending $10. It's really not helping because milk prices and cheese prices go up. Butter goes up. So it's like.
He knows where the problems are at. And that's why he avoids talking about the problems. And he overly emphasizes what's at least somewhat decent and then tries to take credit for it all, even if he had nothing to do with it stabilizing.
Yeah.
Gas prices stabilized for different reasons, not because of Trump.
I personally think it has a lot to do with the electronic vehicles. People are not driving as many gas vehicles now.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
That's a part of it.
It's a supply and demand.
Also, the tariffs, the threat of tariffs, increasing prices, and the cost of things going up, people are just driving less.
Mm-hmm.
They're driving a lot less. So,
or taking
less demand, more supply, the cost goes down.
Or they're taking public transportation like the train or whatever to get from here to where they work versus driving because it's a lot cheaper, Right. But
here's the thing. If Trump wants to take credit for gas prices stabilizing or going down a little bit, right? Then what's going on? We're paying more for food. So the money we're saving in gas, we're paying more for food and then some.
Mm-hmm.
So are we really spending less money overall? No. The cost of living has gone way up under Trump.
Yes.
It was already going up, but it's never gone up like at this level.
Yeah.
Until Trump came into office and started messing with the tariffs last year and all this stuff. But let's continue.
The cost of living has gone up, but the wage has not.
No.
There's been no adjustment with the cost of living and what we pay our minimum wage people.
They're way far apart.
Mm-hmm.
So Lemon was doing his live stream. The federal government later charged him and others with federal civil rights offenses. I already read that because they allegedly inferred with the rights of worshipers. Charges Lemon and his attorneys have said are an attempt to chill press freedom, claiming he was there to report, not to lead protests. Lemon is always live. He's always reporting.
That's his job.
And they're trying to say, well, he had insider information regarding this was going to happen, even though the lady that was, I cannot remember her name. She was on the Cuomo show that night. The lady was saying that only her and a few people knew. They met at a different location, and then they went to the location of the church. Now, here's the thing. Even if Lemon knew about the location, what decent journalist would not try to find out the information of where a hot story is going to be?
Yeah, right? That's his job.
Would. And okay, what if, let's say this. What if this was one of the reporters that Trump loves? Would he have even gotten arrested?
No.
You gotta flip it around and ask yourselves, this could have been anyone in Don Lemon's position. If it was a conservative or a MAGA Trump supporter, especially a MAGA Trump supporter that, helped him get elected. Do you think there would even be an arrest? Absolutely not. And if there was, then Trump would pardon him. But Trump was talking shit about Lemon. He's always talked smack about Lemon because he's anti-liberal. He's anti-liberal. At least he tries to play it off that way, right? So, they basically, I do feel it was an attempt to chill the freedom of the press, which is a part of the First Amendment. The First Amendment is, freedom of speech and freedom of the press. It's always been that way. Without that, we couldn't have the journalism we have today.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
And Trump is trying to silence journalism. Is that what Trump's trying to do? He's trying to prevent journalists using their First Amendment protected, rights to go to the story and report that there's actually an ICE official that's also a pastor or involved with the church at a high level. That's a major contradiction that I feel the public has the right to know. And Trump is trying to stop that or punish Lemon for reporting that.
Well, let's just go all the way back. Is it against the law to be an ICE agent and a pastor in a church at the same time?
There's no law against that.
Exactly. So
it's a definite conflict of interest in my opinion.
It can be.
And no, it is. It's with the congregation, it could be. So let me ask you this.
Okay.
Hold on. Hold that thought. You're in a church. You're against people getting killed wrongfully because the president, which happens to be Donald Trump, is basically trying to make it look like he's the best president by sending in ICE agents all over the country to raid all these places. And then there are people there that are peacefully protesting, which is part of their rights to do, right? Peacefully protest.
Mm-hmm.
And they're getting killed. So basically, if you're against that, which I assume you are, right?
Oh, I'm against people killed.
And then you're against the way that ICE is, doing things primarily through the direction of Trump, right? Pretty much completely through the direction of Trump, right?
Yes.
And then you find out that the pastor of your church is an ICE official in that area. Wouldn't that contradict your morality? Wouldn't that make you question, I'm here because I respect everyone's rights. I respect everyone's, right to live. And there's somebody here that's a pastor that is okay with people dying in what most of us are seeing as a wrongful way. Do you understand the contradiction and conflict of interest that could impose, or it has imposed, in my opinion, right? Do you get what I'm saying?
What would be...
It's not illegal to be a pastor and an ICE agent.
Well, what I'm trying to say is, what would the difference be if it was just a normal pastor, but the ICE agents were a part of the congregation? Would that be inappropriate? Because they might have insight, being an ICE agent, that they're going to be a raid there.
That would be different, in my opinion, because you have to understand, in my opinion, and in most people's opinions, because my family, we belong to the Greek Orthodox Church. And our priest, Father Peter, he is the leader of the church. He's like the president of the church, right? He's the authoritative figure.
He's God in that church.
Well, he symbolizes, God is God. I don't want to be disrespectful to God.
But he is the God of the church.
Right.
Yes.
He basically, yes, he's the leader of the church, right?
Yes.
So what he says and does represents the entire congregation. Whatever he believes in, if he puts it out there publicly or people know about it, they're going to associate that to the church. So
if you've got an ICE agent as a pastor who's preaching about immigration and illegals and making that part of his sermon, that I see as a huge conflict of interest.
Well, the thing is, I don't think he was doing that. I don't think he was doing that. And I think they said that it's either a pastor or somebody in the hierarchy of the church. Okay.
Yeah,
We're gonna find out more as the story continues to unfold. But
I'm just looking at, like, there can legitimately be police officers that also are priests or, in the church somewhat, and they may not think everything that their congregation is doing is right, but if you step into that position, just like a judge, you have to be biased. Like, you can't hold one person accountable for something like that.
yeah,
you gotta
but a
just
judge,
treat everybody.
a judge cannot be a practicing attorney on their own while they're a judge. They have to
No, yes, I know that.
and they wouldn't have time to do it anyway because those courts are so backlogged. Like, no, the thing is that this boils down to a morality issue. It boils down to what's morally and ethically right. And that's what I believe this protest was for. Yes, I know there are laws disrupting, people worshiping in their church. And I understand that. I get that. But in this situation, I can see why they went there. I'm not saying I would have listened.
Yeah, no, I can see why they
would have
went
never
there.
gone to a protest like this because the law is the law. But these people are saying, yes, we understand the law, but there's a greater good here that needs to be addressed. We need to make a statement. And you know why they did it? They did it to make a statement to Trump that, hey, we're tired of seeing people die wrongfully.
Did they storm the church?
I think they just walked in there. They just, I don't think they stormed. They walked in there and then they were just talking to some of the people, like, I mean,
casually.
It didn't seem from what I saw
like destructive or disruptive.
Well, I think they may have disrupted the liturgy, but the bottom line is that they weren't going in there to harm people or hurt people physically. They were going in there to make a statement that what's happening with ICE in their community and across the country, led by Donald Trump's directive, is wrong. People are dying for no reason. And because this pastor or higher up at this church is with ICE in some capacity, an ICE official, it basically is a contradicting statement, over what most of those people would believe fair treatment would be of these people that died wrongfully. You understand what I'm saying? It's a contradiction, right? I mean, I would never, ever be a pastor of a church and be a federal agent at the same time.
Like I was saying, yeah, you could do it as a cop, but like, what if somebody goes into confessional and says that they've murdered somebody or they raped somebody? As a cop, you're about to bust down that confessional and arrest them. But
you're not,
as a priest,
but technically you're not supposed to.
Yeah, as a priest, you're supposed to take in what they say.
Yeah.
If
a cop was a priest and you confessed to murder. A priest and a cop, a priest is supposed to keep it within the confessional, and you're saying the cop has to report it, so you have a contradicting.
Yeah.
Right. This is a similar aspect. All right, let's continue.
Because I'm getting close.
Break real soon. We're at 48 minutes. We're going to take a break at the 1 hour mark, 12 minutes. Okay. Why this became legal trouble. The protest gained national attention because it involved activists interrupting a religious service, and authorities argued that this went beyond peaceful protests to interfering with people's right to worship. I understand and agree with that, but I think these people also had the right to know what was going on.
Okay.
We got to keep moving.
Okay, go ahead. No, go on.
Okay, go ahead. What were you going to say? Go ahead.
No, it might answer me.
Okay, that's why federal civil rights charges were brought against some participants, including Lemon. No, it's because Donald Trump wants to divert attention off of what's really going on. And it's the fact that, grocery prices keep going up, food keeps going up. The midterms are right around the corner. Trump has the lowest approval rating in the history of any president, even lower than his first term. So he's trying to shift focus.
Yeah.
And he's trying to make it appear like the people that are trying to do the right thing and stand up for the right thing are doing the wrong thing to try to make himself look better. But people aren't stupid, right? Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, no. Now, I was just wondering, so these peaceful protesters, they were outside of the church, right?
Yeah.
And did they?
So they went in. They went in.
Oh, they went into the church.
Yeah, they went in. Yeah.
And so then when the ICE officers went in to like the quote unquote lobby of the church back there and didn't really do anything but.
No, I don't think ICE officers went in there.
Oh, okay. Then
no, this was a protest over events that have happened in their community. There was a lady that died in their community because of an ICE raid over a peaceful protest. It was over a prior event. This was a planned protest at the church. That's the part that you
I thought the protest was outside of the church.
No, the protest happened prior. No, sorry. The protest happened that day at the church. The event leading to the protest happened at an ICE rally, at an ICE peaceful protest rally. And a lady wrongfully died in the community.
So it was kind of also like an in memoriam type of service also because this woman passed away.
It wasn't
a funeral, but it was like remember, see what happened here. We don't want this to happen again type of thing.
They did a protest because of her wrongfully dying and because Donald Trump is sending in ICE agents all over the country, and they're basically that's distracting. And they're basically using excessive deadly force when not necessary. So anyway, let's continue here. Let's see. There has also been debate and concerns from press freedom advocates about whether charging a journalist who was documenting the protest sets a problematic precedent for journalists covering protests or continuous events. I agree. Lemon had the right to be there. Any journalist had the right to be there. Freedom of the press. These conservatives are the ones that they flex First Amendment rights more than anyone. Now the liberals flex the First Amendment rights, and no, you don't get those rights because you're liberal, right? You see?
We had to flex because they were already starting to take it away. So the liberals had to flex.
Right. It shows the hypocrisy of the right. And I'm not saying the left isn't hypocritical regarding other things. Everyone's hypocritical. Everyone's hypocritical at times. But the bottom line is that this is a distraction ploy by Trump. Trump is trying to distract people from what's really going on. And most people are not being distracted.
Nope.
Because now we have progressive media, more left-leaning media. I would consider us to be a little bit more on the progressive end of things.
Yeah.
We're more down the middle. We're slightly on the left, but we're more down the middle. We care about everyone. We care about even the Republicans and the conservatives, et cetera. We care about the MAGAs. We care about everyone understanding the truth and understanding what's really going on here with this administration. It's the worst administration in the history of our country and probably even in the world. Like, seriously. A lot of people, have compared Trump to Hitler, have compared Trump to
Stalin,
Putin, to all these people, right? Trump is the worst. You know why? Because he's manipulative. He is more manipulative than any other president in the U.S. or the world in history. And he is good at manipulating people, unlike anyone I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He won't fool me, but he can fool enough people to support him.
Yeah.
And now even his own people are turning on him. They're not being fooled anymore. And it's going to continue to get worse. You're going to see after the midterms, he's going to have no control because the House and the Senate's going to flip to blue.
Yeah.
And at that point, everything's going to get, everything's going to go blue.
Blue.
Anyway, let's see here. In summary, the protesters were calling for an end to ICE and for accountability related to deadly incidents involving ICE agents, and they entered a church service to make their point. That's
okay, sounds fine.
Even though I know the law doesn't allow you to disrupt a liturgy, they did it. And honestly, sometimes I think the laws are subjective for the situation. I don't think there was an intention to break the law here. This was all done for the right reasons, for the better good of everyone. Go ahead.
Now, and then I would think that the church wasn't opposed to these people coming in with their peaceful protest. Did the church have a problem with it?
I haven't heard much about that. I don't know. I mean, well, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. That hasn't really been talked much, or talked about much, or I haven't heard much about it. But I'll look into it, and we'll update people, and I'll update you as I find out. But yeah, we'll look into that. But Lemon was there reporting on the event, and that coverage has become part of legal proceedings that are raising questions about the line between journalism and protest. No, this is not about that. This is about Donald Trump diverting attention off of what he doesn't want people to know is really going on.
Yeah.
He's trying to divert away from sky-high prices. Insurance prices have gone up, like you said. Food has gone up. And midterms are right around the corner later on this year. And so he's trying to divert attention while he tries to figure out, how am I going to keep this Congress red instead of blue? How am I going to keep the Senate and the House blue? How am I going to continue to be able to control MAGA Mike Johnson to get whatever I want? Because after 2026, for his last 2 years, MAGA Mike Johnson is not going to be the majority leader. He's going to be the minority leader. And we're going to be laughing at him at that point. Especially, I watch Ben Meiselas on the Midas Touch Network, and he calls him MAGA Mike Johnson. It's the funniest thing, right? MAGA Mike Johnson today. Part of the reason why the ACA, Affordable Care Act credits weren't approved before the new year is because of MAGA Mike Johnson. He shut down Congress, and they all went home without deciding. Anyway, it is what it is. Okay, just a few more things here. If the latest updates, is the pastor of that church an ICE official? Yes, the protest at the church was tied to the fact that one of the church's pastors also serves as an ICE official. Protesters identified him as an official with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and objected to that dual role. If I found out that Father Peter at the Greek Orthodox Church was an ICE official, I'd be pissed off. Like, I especially with what's going on right now, or even in general. So this whole situation is warranted, and they're trying to throw this law in, which I get it. There is a law, and you have to follow the law. But this is something that is subjective to how you want to perceive it. And Trump is taking that subjectively towards his favor because that's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
He'll take whatever he can get.
Yeah.
Right? When it's 50-50, when it can go either way, Trump will go his way.
Yep, all the time.
He's all about Trump. That's it, right? Here's what the reporting shows. The church and the ICE connection. The anti-ICE protesters who disrupted the worship service at City's Church in St. Paul, Minnesota, were motivated in part by the belief that one of the church's pastors is also a local ICE official. Specifically, they allege that David Easterwood serves both as a pastor at City's Church and as the acting field director of the ICE field office in St. Paul. That's like the highest.
Wow. Yeah.
Come on. What a conflict of interest.
That is a way big conflict of interest.
No, see,
okay.
So do you see what made me hot earlier? Like,
yeah.
Hot in different ways, but right.
Yeah, there's a huge difference between a beat cop and that level. Yes.
Right. Which oversees immigration enforcement operations in Minnesota, where that lady died. Okay. protesters saw this dual role, religious leadership and enforcement leadership, as a conflict. I do too. Any normal human being would see it as a major conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Right? Which helped spark the demonstration during the worship service. That was, in my opinion, I understand the law. The law's the law. In this case, I feel what they did was justified. What was reported, coverage from multiple outlets noted that demonstrators were upset because a pastor was also an ICE official and they entered the service to protest that connection. Activists even called publicly for the pastor's resignation over the alleged ICE leadership conflict. If I was in the congregation and Father Peter was doing that, I'd be calling for his resignation too.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
That's a major conflict of interest. Especially when people are dying wrongfully because your Lord, Savior, and Messiah, Donald J. Trump, is sending these people in for really no reason. There's a better way to handle this. He's trying to look good. I'm going to be the one that gets rid of the most illegals. I'm going to be known as the person that gets rid of the most illegals, right? Clarification. It is important to note Jonathan Parnell is the lead pastor shown interacting with the congregation during the protest, but the specific pastor alleged to be an ICE official was identified by protesters as David Easterwood, who they say was not present at the service but is associated with the church's leadership while also leading the ICE office. It doesn't matter. He's a part of the church leadership.
Yeah.
Right? He may be like, okay, at our church we have the lead pastor, and we have like a secondary pastor.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the lead pastor is on vacation or has something else to do.
Wedding or something, yeah.
Most churches have multiple pastors. He doesn't have to be the lead pastor.
Yeah.
For this to be controversial and be a conflict of interest. He's at the top of the church, near the top of the church in leadership. That's a conflict. In short, activists targeted the church's service in part because of claims that one of its pastors simultaneously holds a leadership role in ICE, which amplified tensions around immigration enforcement and policing, and that allegation was part of what drew national attention to the protest. Outrage, baby.
Outrage.
And see, it's
constant outrage.
And all Don Lemon does is report on the outrage. He doesn't go out there and cause the outrage. He has his opinions. But he goes and reports on the outrage that the mainstream media is too chicken shit to go do themselves because they don't want to get fired. Right? Or they don't want Trump to come after that cable outlet, right? And sue them. And then, the network quietly pays Trump $15, $20 million to just get him to go away. That's called capitulation, and that's the reason why Trump continues to do what he does, because no one holds him accountable. Us, U.S. citizens, have to hold our president accountable. We have to hold our administration accountable. This is not because I'm on the left. If there was a Democratic president doing what Trump is doing, I'd feel the same way about the Democratic president. This is just not a good president. This is
just a feeling about the person, not yeah.
This has nothing to do with political party preference. This has to do. He's just not a good.
He's
president.
a bad human.
He's not a good person. He's just not a good person. Anyway, any final thoughts, babe? We are at 1 hour and 3 minutes. Are you going to take a break?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me turn off the camera.
I know.
Dawn's going to step away and take a break. We've got the First Amendment background here. Dawn's going to step away and take her first break. And while she does that, let me remind you folks that if you are listening to us on the audio-only podcast network, such as Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, My Lady's Favorite, iHeartRadio, Amazon's Audible, YouTube's Music, or any one of the many unknown or not as popular audio-only podcast network. If you're listening to us on the podcast, the audio podcast network, and you would like to view the video version of our podcast, you can go below in the description section of wherever you're listening to this audio only. About halfway down, you'll see the link to the video version of the same exact podcast. We actually rip the audio from the video. When you click that link, it'll redirect you to our main YouTube channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. GNA is short for Genuine Networking Association. When you go there, please subscribe, bang the bell, and select all notifications so you don't miss anything. And then also go below in that description section of that video. A couple lines down, you'll see the link to our secondary live streaming channel, GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development, where I go live regularly, if not every day, almost every day. Sometimes Don joins me in the studio or on the walks, or sometimes we do Driving with Purpose streams. Sometimes we do On the Couch with Don and Eli live streams. Sometimes we do streams from the studio, kind of like what you see here on the video version of our podcast. So there's a lot going on. If you want to, continue to follow us and support us, and we would appreciate your support, connect with us on YouTube, on our YouTube channels, because we really care about everyone's best interest. We're about personal development. Don and I, we're here to teach personal development. We're here to inspire, motivate, and uplift people to become the best versions of themselves that they can be. And we're trying to set an example on how you don't need outrage to be successful on the internet. You don't need outrage to get attention on the internet. You can do something that is good for the people, something positive for the people, and still make it sustainable. It hasn't been easy, folks. I'm just letting you know, it hasn't been easy to keep this going, because outrage is the primary thing that people tune into, and it's the primary thing that sells sponsorships and the primary thing that people donate to. And we're trying to change that here because we need more positivity in this world. We really do. Now, I'm just waiting for Dawn to come back in. She should be coming back in any second. Oh, man. I even slowed that down to give Dawn a little bit more time. I can see her on the cameras. We have lots of cameras here at the house. I think she's about to come back in. Yeah, I saw her on the camera. You like the background, babe, before I turn the camera on? It's the First Amendment with a pen there and the flag. We the people.
Ooh.
The Constitution.
Oh, yeah.
Of the United States of America. Your dad's a big proponent of the Constitution.
So is my brother.
Oh, Dean?
No.
Oh, no, David.
Dean's not.
Dean doesn't care about the Constitution. Huh?
Dean doesn't care about anything.
Hold on. Can I turn on the camera?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Here we go.
Yeah, no, my brother Dean, he's an interesting one.
He is very interesting.
He's an atheist, so.
Oh, he denies the existence of the Lord.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, hey. That's
to each their own, but
your brother David is a God-loving man.
He is a God-loving man.
Your brother David is almost like a Bible thumper. But that's okay.
A good Bible thumper.
A good Bible thumper. No,
he
all
doesn't
good,
push
Dave.
it. He doesn't push it down your throat. He lets it be known that he is.
I love God, so listen, he has nothing to prove to me.
But see,
it's all good.
He knew at Thanksgiving that Dean's not big into a whole big, prayer and everything. So he made it very simple. Thank you for this food. Thank you for the family. And he made it very basic for Dean, which that's why I say he's not quite a thumper, but he's a polite thumper,
Is your brother Dean kind of like a control freak?
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay, let's move on because I could talk for hours.
We could talk for days.
Yeah, I'm not here to talk shit about your family. I've done enough of that. I've done enough of that, and I don't want to do that because
I love my brothers. I
know.
It's just, your people
family
are different.
Your family has a very interesting dynamic. And remember, your mom is from Brooklyn, New York.
Yes. Well, yes.
So, there's a lot of New York vibes.
Yeah.
In your family.
Well, I think I got most of those vibes.
Oh, you certainly did.
Because the two boys were born. Well, Dean was born in Idaho and David was born in California.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Yeah, no, that's right. So.
Yeah. So what did you think about that first part of the show?
I thought it was great. I thought it was really good. I obviously got more information than I had previously known.
You didn't see the Cuomo show that I saw.
That's it. I didn't get to see that.
You know, I watch a lot more political YouTube stuff than you do.
Yes,
so
yes.
I watch a lot of YouTube stuff.
Yeah, when I fall asleep before he does, that's immediately what goes on is YouTube. And then it's like, then when he's done with that, it's to sleep. But that's his time. You know, after I fall asleep to get on there and do what he wants to do and relax.
Yeah.
And
you and many people that didn't understand this are going to have a much clearer understanding of what's really going on here. And some people may argue me, but it speaks for itself. I mean, you know, this whole thing, you know, Don Lemon should have never been arrested. Let's
move it. Yeah.
Let's get into what the people on Reddit think about this, because we have 5 postings, and primarily we're going to be reading the comments section. Because we've already gone through the story. So let's go ahead and switch on over to the browser screen here. And this first posting is from the subreddit r/news. And the original poster's title is Federal Agents Arrest Don Lemon Over Minnesota Church Protest Gift Article. I'm not going to open the article. We read it. We're just going to go down to the comments here because this is what's more important, right? We already have the context of what happened. And Don and I did a lot of commentary during the first part of the show. We didn't show on the screen what we read because it was just notes. But go ahead.
I was going to say that, now we want to hear what the people think.
Yeah. So, this person says, but the magistrate judge who reviewed the evidence approved charges against only 3 of the people, rejecting the evidence against Mr. Lemon and others as insufficient. The Justice Department then petitioned a federal appeals court to force the judge to issue the additional warrants, only to be denied. That's because this became a freedom of speech, freedom of the press, First Amendment. When you have First Amendment issues in this country,
is that like an anti-slap thing?
No.
Okay.
That's.
I just asked on the side, asking. Yeah.
Anti-slap is basically if you're suing someone over speech-related issues such as defamation, that's when they can file that to try to end your case sooner.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't cost them a lot of money. No, this is different here. You know, the bottom line is that, in my opinion, these judges and every judge, whenever you try to get a restraining order on someone for what people have said about you on the internet, especially YouTube, the First Amendment protection is huge in this country. It is very hard to defeat the First Amendment. You have to clear-cut defame someone, you know, and you have to clearly, as a journalist, be there to cause a riot or something illegal rather than just reporting it.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, Don Lemon was clearly there live, broadcasting live. He's running his channel on YouTube. He's making money. He's a journalist. That's why he was there.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. If he knew about this even before, you know, it happened, so what? What journalist doesn't get that kind of information? And they were even talking about that on Cuomo. It's like, you know, Cuomo asked the lady that was organizing this event. I cannot remember what her name is. She's an African-American lady. And she said only a few people knew about the event before we met at a separate location, and then we went over there as a group. And Don wasn't one of them. Now, whether that's true or not, okay, is irrelevant, because even if Don knew about it, he has the right to go there and report the news, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean he's actively participating in it. He's there to report the news on something that he got a tip is happening. What news reporter hasn't gotten a tip like that?
Right.
And why isn't Trump arresting them?
Because,
it doesn't suit his narrative.
It doesn't suit his narrative.
It doesn't suit his narrative, right? That's the bottom line. Bottom line. Anything else you want to add to that, babe?
Oh, no, baby. Let's go.
All right. Real curious to see what that warrant says then. Also, they grabbed him at the Grammys. That just screams a petty attempt at intimidation for everyone there. That's Trump.
Well, yeah.
I mean, listen, Trump, tell me it's Trump that did that.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
And it wasn't even the actual Grammys he was reporting on the Grammys, like I guess the show or whatever. He wasn't literally at the Grammys. That hasn't happened yet.
He was in Southern California.
Yeah, but the Grammys haven't happened yet.
Yeah, let me see this. Yes, Don Lemon was in Los Angeles for the 2026 Grammy Awards weekend to cover the event as an independent journalist. He attended pre-Grammy parties, including the Recording Academy Honors, but was arrested by federal agents on January 29th in connection with a protest before his planned red carpet work. So
that's what I'm saying. It wasn't like at the Grammys live and on the red carpet.
Guess what's going to happen? Do you know how much money Don Lemon lost from not being able to do the red carpet? Everyone would have tuned in for that. I would have tuned in for that. So what's he going to do after he gets acquitted? He's going to sue Trump and the administration civilly for probably like $10 or $20 million.
Which he should.
Now, most of that's not going to be lost income. Most of that is going to be a violation of his First Amendment rights. His constitutional rights being violated by the President of the United States. Mm-hmm. I have no doubt about it that he's going to sue the... it's going to be wonderful. And you know what the funny thing is? You know what Trump just did? The same thing that Trump wants, social media attention.
You just gave it to him.
You just gave Don Lemon content for the next fucking 2-3 years.
Throughout the rest of the presidency, at least, right?
Lemon's like, so, okay, this is what you want to do, Donnie. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to make content off this.
Don versus Don.
Don versus Don. Don versus Don.
That's funny. Oh, my God. These things just come.
Another thing, and I don't want to make this about race or sexual orientation, but we know that Don Lemon is a gay man, respectfully saying that, okay? He's an African-American man. He's not sitting there playing the role of, he's not sitting there and flexing, his, what do you call it? He's not playing the card.
He's not playing the race
card or the orientation card.
Card.
Right, he's not playing the card, right? Mm-hmm. He's going to play Trump. This is a chess match between Trump and Lemon, the two Dons, right? Like you said, Don versus Don. Mm-hmm. Right? D-O-N versus D-O-N, not D-A. You're D-A-W-N.
Yeah,
right?
just think of yarn or yawn, Don.
Right. But so, and then he's going to sue the administration. And I'm telling you, like, look, Trump is Caucasian. This is bad. This is
totally against homosexuals.
No one's talking about this. Cuomo's not talking about this even as deeply as I am. You know why? Because News Nation doesn't want it to be a race thing, right?
Or a gay thing.
Right. And that's not what Don's trying to make it. But
that card's in his back pocket.
The attorney's going to say, I mean, does this have to do because of that? Don's not going to go out there. Don is too proud to say all that, right? Mm-hmm. He doesn't want to get attacked by his own people or people publicly saying you're playing the card, right? Okay? 2 cards, right? He's going to let the attorney do that. And the contrast here, I mean...
this couldn't even be pre-planned as well as it is right now.
Right. And no one's talking about this at this level because they're afraid to do it. right? Anyway, let's continue here because anyway. One we don't need to read that. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Journalist, this is from the subreddit r/news. Journalist Don Lemon is charged with federal civil rights crimes in anti-ICE church protest. There he is.
And he's a good-looking man. He keeps himself very well
and
together.
He's very listen, he has a great broadcasting voice. Very deep.
But not too deep.
No, it's just the right amount of deepness, right? But listen to this. I chose this one from Reddit because look what this person says. This person says at the top, Lemon is going to be able to produce a lot of news with what he will inevitably find in discovery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just said he's going to make, this is all content. This is like, honestly, like, it's almost like this was the best thing that could happen to Lemon.
Like
is Trump,
I said,
Trump arresting him.
It couldn't have been planned any better.
And guess what? I bet you, over the next week or two, he's going to go from 1.1 to maybe 1.4 or 1.5 million subscribers on his channel. Because he goes live as often as I do.
Well, you subscribed. I subscribed.
Oh, man.
You know.
Don Lemon, you're my hero, man. You're my new hero, broski.
Hero of the week.
Broski. Like
Broski.
ODN's one of our G&A executives here. Anyway. And then someone below that says, it'll never get there. This will be dismissed long before discovery. I will. This will be dismissed long before discovery. In my opinion, this is a high-level version of you can't beat the rap. Sorry, you can beat the rap, but not the right. It is an old police intimidation tactic that doesn't aim for a conviction, but rather to punish extrajudicially via the humiliation and inconvenience of an arrest. This is content for Trump. This is a distraction for Trump. But who wins here? Lemon. Mm-hmm. Lemon is going to win everything. Lemon's going to own the U.S. after this.
It's going to be T-shirts. Lemon for president.
Lemon is going to blow up on YouTube.
There's going to be tons of lemon heads.
Like Lemon is going to be more popular than. I'm sorry, Chris. I love you, but Lemon. Lemon's like, this is the best shit that could have happened.
We need to make.
He's not going public and saying.
We need to make him like some kind of lemon hat. That's like the MAGA hat.
No, you know what he calls them? He calls his people lemon heads. I believe.
Lemon heads.
Shit, I might become a member of Don Lemon's YouTube channel. I gotta start going to those live streams while they're live. But I'm usually live when Lemon's live.
Yeah.
So it's like I gotta figure that out. Anyway. That's a great. I love that name. That name Don Lemon has always stood out. That's his real name. You know. Anyway. Yep. This is the Instagram administration.
Yep.
They want the headline and perp walk photo up. After that, the news will move on, and they don't care what happens. This is not moving on for a while. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. For a very long while.
You know why this is not moving on? Not because Don Lemon doesn't want it to move on, but because this is more about the stuff that Trump is doing to harm people and then try to distract people by wrongfully having, his administration arrest and try to convict what do you call it? The Lemon of a crime here. Give me a break. This is ridiculous. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, baby.
The Instagram response: Lemon arrives at the White House after winning his suit with a big bag asking for his money. Amen. I got to give you a big round of applause.
There's going to be so many memes.
Say that again?
There's going to be so many memes out there.
Oh, man. He's going to sue the administration, a.k.a. the administration is Trump.
Oh,
Just like in the court when the court employees refer to the court, they're referring to the judge in that particular courtroom that your case is a part of. The administration is Donald J. Trump. That's what it is.
I think I'm going to have to start watching Saturday Night Live because they're going to do the best skits of
oh yeah,
all, you know.
Oh man, they're gonna be all over this lemon thing. I'm telling you, man.
And it's great because we have it on Peacock, and
they're gonna listen. Everybody's going to win here, except for Trump. This is going to backfire on Trump unlike anything you've ever seen. I mean, look, there were even black people that voted for Trump this time around, and they're regretting their vote because usually African Americans will vote more liberal, more left-leaning.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, they believed Trump when he said, groceries, we're going to lower the prices of groceries, right? Eggs. And then eggs went sky high. Now, eggs have finally come back down to reality.
They're still a little
They're still
expensive.
not as cheap as they used to be.
Yeah.
But they're not like $10 or $12 for a dozen.
See, you know, it was back in the day, you could literally use eggs to feed your family. It was a very cheap way to feed your family.
Oh, now they're like gold.
Now, yeah.
They're like
golden
gold or
eggs.
silver.
Golden eggs.
Golden eggs. Yeah, the golden goose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The golden hen, right?
Yep.
The rooster is the male and the hen.
Oh, yeah. The rooster is the cock.
The cock. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Right.
I always wondered why Cheryl loves
I used to call myself the morning rooster back in the days.
The morning cock?
And then I still have the morning rooster sound.
That's great.
Babe, you know, yeah, I used to.
I always wondered why Cheryl loved roosters so much. Maybe now
My
I know.
name is Elias Mellis, a.k.a. the morning rooster.
That's funny.
I used to do that, babe. I don't know. I you know what? I think I should bring back the morning rooster. I know that would drive you crazy, but it's a great branding thing, and people.
You know what? GLM would love that.
People love when you're a little bit of a goofball, even though you're professional. People like a little goofiness, even in professional people. So maybe I'll bring it back. We'll see. Okay. Let's see. Where are we at? We are at 1 hour and 27 minutes. We got to keep moving forward because we have 3 more to go. Okay. What this is from the subreddit r/ask-a-liberal. What do you think about Don Lemon interrupting a church service? Now, I'm not going to read the story because we've already done it. There are many links that share the same exact story or a pretty close version of it. We know what happened, right? Let's see. The first comment. Don Lemon reported on a controversial protest and interviewed the attendees and church members. He wasn't part of the protest. He didn't interrupt the service. You seem to have basic facts incorrect.
Truth.
He seems to have just done what a street journalist should do, document the event and the responses to it. That's all he did.
Yeah.
And people are saying that he could get convicted if they try to get
convicted of what?
What are they going to do? Are they going to subpoena his phone records and get text messages saying, "Hey, you were sent the information of the protests."
Mm-hmm.
Even so, so he was sent information of it. Did he go there to protest, or did he get the information because he wanted to cover the event?
Wanted to cover the event.
Even though the event was violating the law, he was there to cover the event.
He was a bystander videoing it.
Right. The event was going to happen whether he showed up to cover it or not. Even if he knew about it. But honestly, do I think he knew about it? I don't know. They're probably going to subpoena his phone records. That's what they're going to, because this is what Trump does. He abuses power and abuses the system. When has he not done that all his life? He has a history of abusing the system even when he wasn't the president. Now he's the president.
Mm-hmm.
He can abuse the system and then pardon himself. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No. I said what I had to say. What,
I don't have anything to say.
You don't have anything to add? All right. Let's continue. This is the Democrat responding. Thank you for setting me clear on what Lemon did or did not do. I've seen the same headline on Reddit a few times. I don't like Lemon that much. Well, that's your opinion. Self-grandizing, usually way too much spotlight on himself. He's a funny guy. Like, what journalist doesn't talk about themselves or their experiences?
Chris Cuomo does all the time.
We share our personal stories.
Because that's who we are.
That's who we are. Okay, right?
Right.
Grandiose. It should be like grandiosing. I think they misspelled that. Basically, trying to act like he's saying they're trying to act, or he's trying to act self-righteous and like it's all about him. No, that's not how Don Lemon is. Does he talk about himself and his situations? Yeah. Who wouldn't? I talk about my situations all the time. It's my experience. Mm-hmm. It's how I can help people. It's what I refer back to be able to help people. Yeah. Same with you, right?
Same with me.
Right.
I've made plenty of mistakes. I've done plenty of good things. And if any of my mistakes can help somebody else out there, that's all I'm here to do. We don't even have to communicate. If you just hear my words and they change you, that's all I want.
Right. Okay. If he was just asking questions of attendees, observing and not leaving right when he was told, that's being a journalist. Duh. That's all he did. The next person says, he says some stupid things in interviews and then does not own up to them. He makes those who care about social justice look bad. And that's not what he does. That is your opinion, and you're skewed because you haven't followed him enough and you don't know who he is. Is he controversial? Absolutely. But that's what I like about him. He's controversial because he stands up to bullies. He stands up to this administration that many other corporations and mainstream media, cable networks, and regular networks are capitulating to him because they're afraid he's going to sue them or try to send the FCC after them or something, right?
Yeah.
It's like they're afraid of Trump abusing his power, which he will abuse his power and abuse the process to silence his critics and to get what he wants.
Yeah.
And Don Lemon is standing tall against that. And that's what he's doing. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong.
Whew, man, this is hot. Yeah, this stuff makes me really fired up, right?
Yeah.
Let me read this one here, and then we'll go to the next one. At least that is what it looks like. A reporter can find out about a protest and go and sit and watch it. That doesn't mean he's responsible for the protest. Yeah, nope. Don Lemon was not responsible. He's not the organizer. If anything, go after the organizer.
And he's not responsible if he gets a tip. Go after the person who gave him the tip.
Right. That's what I would say. It wouldn't matter if they subpoenaed his records and found out that, oh yeah, he got a tip that this was happening long before it happened. That doesn't matter. He went there as a reporter. What reporters haven't ever gotten a tip? I'll say it again, over and over again.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. The judges even think it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right?
I can't wait till November.
Huh?
I can't wait until November.
I know it's going to be interesting. We'll be watching it on News Nation. Let's see here. Maybe there will be a protest ahead of time. That doesn't make you culpable for the protest. This looks like Republicans don't like the idea of people protesting them, and they are attacking Lemon for daring to report on it. Big, huge round of applause! And that's exactly what I've been saying. That's exactly what you now understand. And that's exactly why you wanted to do this topic, because
Yes.
you wanted clarity, and we wanted to present this in a clear way to people. Like, we're not against Republicans. We're not against anyone.
We just don't like to see injustice done, just at the hands of power and control.
Well, it all leads to abuse of power by Donald Trump. That's all this boils down to.
Buster is
It's
killing
abuse
me.
of power by Trump.
Yeah, he's
And-
taking up half the stupid chair here.
Well, you can kick the dog off.
He'll just come right back. Yeah, it's something funny, but I'm not going to say
That's true. He loves you. He loves you.
Yeah.
If that's not true, I'd love to hear more information. No, you nailed it. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
That's why I like to go
Amen.
to Reddit and see supporting people talk about it, because I don't want people thinking my opinions are talking out of my ass. I know exactly what I'm talking about. It's common sense,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And that's why we look at both sides, because we want to see the opinions of both sides and see where they're coming from, why one side feels one way and the other side feels the other way.
Oh,
Hi, Rainbow.
We're red now. Okay, there we go. All right. For those who are a little confused about the world, a reporter could hear about a planned protest. They aren't required to report the planned protest or whatever to the police.
How many times do you hear that on TV? I can't reveal my source.
Right, because they want the story.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of their First Amendment protected rights, freedom of the press.
Yes.
Right? Freedom of speech, freedom of the press, First Amendment. End of story, case closed. Now let's file a civil suit on Trump and the administration, because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and if you have a problem with it, just go back to the forefathers.
I'll tell you.
Take it up with them.
Donald Trump, again, correct me if I'm wrong, Donald Trump just made Don Lemon's career.
Oh, God,
just basically is going to put all the money in Don Lemon's pocket over this dumb administrative mistake from the administrative, staff, the administration, Donald Trump of the U.S. administration. In extreme circumstances, like they knew people were planning to bring guns and hurt people, then maybe you could make a case. But this example has nothing to do with what appeared to happen here. The bottom line is, if Lemon knew that someone was planning like an assassination or something, he would absolutely call the cops and report that.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. This is not about that. That's an extreme circumstance, but over a planned, peaceful protest, even though, yes, going into a church, can be considered illegal, disrupting the parishioners and all that. I think they're really reaching there with that law. It is a law, and I'm not discrediting the law, but I think they're reaching here because there was always a bigger agenda to this whole thing for Trump.
Yeah.
It's all about look at me, and when I need you to be distracted, then I'm going to give you something to distract you from what I don't want you to see, so that way there's a better chance of the House and the Senate staying red instead of blue at the end of 2026. That's what this all boils down to. Trump is thinking ahead. He knows he has to think ahead. I mean, his ratings suck. Everything is like everything is going wrong for him. He's trying to act like it's all good.
Yeah.
But what do when things aren't going good? Do you act like things aren't going good, or do you just put on your game face and keep telling people everything's all good? Trump is putting on his game face, but deep down inside, he knows exactly what he has to do, and I don't like how he's going about it. He's going to lose the House and the Senate anyway. Like, it's not going to happen. It's going to be all blue after what is it, November in November when we vote. Let me see, when are the
it's just like the presidential ones, isn't it? Like the first week in November.
Yeah, midterm elections are Tuesday, November 3rd, 2026. Yeah, first Tuesday in November. Amen. All right. Boo-doop, boop, boo-doop, 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 boo. All right. So let's go to the last two, and these are from from the conservative side of things. Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
You're going to see a huge, huge difference here. Okay. This is from the subreddit r/ask Trump supporters. Why not? From what I can gather, Lemon was only covering events in Minneapolis and not involved in any kind of attack. How does this fit with the idea that conservatives protect freedom of speech? So this is a conservative asking his own people in the conservative Ask Trump supporters group. Are we contradicting ourselves? We're the ones that flex freedom of speech and all these rights. But now we're trying to silence people on the other side with those same rights that we flex when they try to silence us. Or when we think they're trying to silence us, right? You see the contradiction, the hypocrisy? This is just, and that's fantastic. So let's go to the comments. The first comment, Trump supporter, single issue voter says, conservatives don't care about free speech, LOL. You're probably right. They try to act like they do.
Yeah.
But they don't care about free speech because they don't care about the law. Like, they just do whatever the hell they want. And then they ask Trump to pardon them. Mm-hmm. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
A high five. Give me
high five. You got it right there, baby.
Anything else you want to add to that?
Nope.
They care about my type of speech. Right. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
And my type of laws. And I live according to the laws I create for myself on this country, and no one can arrest me. No one can. Right.
Yeah, I like the voice with that.
I know. Sorry about that. We don't have to go there. My citrus ought not be arrested.
Oh, it's
nor
citrus.
should the protesters.
My citrus. She's talking about a lemon.
My citrus. Oh, that's funny. I didn't even realize that.
I was like, what is she trying to say? Citrus what?
Oh, sorry. He said, no, not my. It said Mr. Citrus.
Mr.
I'm
Citrus.
sorry. I read that wrong. Mr. Citrus should/ought not be arrested, nor should the protesters. I agree. The law is there, but it's it's basically one of those laws that's subjective.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Trump decided to just make it subjective in his favor. I mean, I worded that like that because I'm uninterested in whether or not it violates some stupid act. I would recommend one to talk to a lawyer if they're interested about the law. I agree.
Yeah.
A lot of the laws are subjective.
They are.
They're subjective. Like policemen can stop you for speeding and give you a warning.
Yes, the speed limit, let's say on the freeway, 65. You're going 68, 69.
That's
they
ridiculous.
can pull you over and say, you know what?
Slow it down a little bit, whatever. But then you can have somebody who's just having a shitty day and they're done. And you're going 5 miles over and they're going to ticket you. It's just like, it's subjective. Like some officers wouldn't do it. Others would, based on what they feel. Right.
Right.
And lastly, the correct way it should go down is trespassing, as in the problem, if at all, should be, we don't want you here, but you're here anyway, which sounds like trespassing to me. But then, like I said, uninterested in the law. This is what I think ought or ought not. Yeah, I mean, this whole situation, in my opinion, warranted itself. I mean, yeah, if you look at the technicality of the law, yeah, it was broken. All right. But the truth of the matter is there's a pastor there at whatever level. It's not the head pastor. Maybe it's a backup pastor or the secondary pastor or the third pastor, right? That's also what the director, the highest ranked person of the local ICE office. And that's a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
And how else are you going to tackle that when if you make a phone call to a local office, if you file a report online, it's going to go in the trash. No one gives a shit. This is the only way this could have been handled.
Yeah.
And that's why Trump took action to have Lemon arrested, because that was the only card Trump had to try to stop this. The problem is that Trump made it worse. Trump made it worse, but in the meantime, everyone gets social media attention, outrage, and you know what happens.
Yeah.
You know. And but at the end of the day, the big winner here is going to be Lemon. And Lemon's gonna I'll tell you this. Lemon, by the time this is said and done, is going to probably at least double or quadruple his net worth. I have no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I have no doubt about it. And this guy's going to blow up, and he deserves to blow up. I mean, he's a good guy. I like him. Yeah, he's controversial. I don't agree with everything he says, but I love his tenacity. I love the fact that he just goes out there and stands up for what's right.
Yeah. Yeah. My first impression is I really like him.
Yeah. Well, probably for the same reasons I just said. Probably, right?
Well, yeah. And going into this with not having an opinion on the man is kind of hard because I obviously feel this is wrong in general. And so I'm just going to already be on his side, you know?
Absolutely. Now, let's go back because we got to wrap this up in a few here. I'm not going to read this next one. This is somebody saying the churchgoers have a constitutional right to worship in peace and a legal one too, guaranteed by the FACE Act. How many laws has Donald Trump violated? How many laws does Donald Trump skirt around? Listen, you can't sit here and try to throw this FACE Act when there are so many other variables here. And this was done from a good level, a good moral level of principles. This was principle based, right? I was raised with morals, values, and ethics, right? And I see this rally as a morality thing that could not have been exposed any other way but the way they did it, despite it technically breaking the law. Where are you going to report this, right? You file an online report. Yeah, some person sees it, some administrative person sees it. They hit not important. I'm not going to forward this off, right? Right? I mean, if you go and you go to CNN, or if you go to even someone's YouTube channel and do an interview, if you go and interview all over on this, it's still not going to make the same impact as going into the church and doing what they did.
Yeah. And
quite frankly, I'm not against breaking the law, but there are some laws that I feel, can be bent when necessary. This law was bent for the right reasons. And that's why I think that Lemon's going to be exonerated. And I think he's going to be exonerated fairly quickly. I think he's going to be exonerated fairly quickly. He has to be in court on Monday, February 9th, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is 3 days after my first hearing for my civil case. We're not going to talk about that here today. But yeah, so anyway, let's go to the final one. This is from the subreddit r/Ask Conservatives, and the original poster's title is, "What are your thoughts about the Trump administration of arresting Don Lemon for reporting the protest in the church?" And we're just going to read a couple of them here. Where's the line between reporting and participating? Well, I mean, if you're there reporting and participating, you could be held accountable for protesting because you're doing both. But there's no proof of Don Lemon doing both. The guy had a microphone with him. The guy had a camera crew with him. So where is he protesting? He's there interviewing people at the protest.
He's peacefully talking to people is what he's basically doing. Right.
Why else would Don Lemon be there? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure he has his own beliefs and stuff, and I'm sure that, it was an interesting event and that he probably agrees with what was going on there, but he was not a part of that. He went there because he found out about it, and he wanted to report it.
Yeah.
And even if he knew about it in advance, doesn't matter. Good. He wasn't acting as a reporter that day based on the video he himself posted. You're wrong about that. That's not right. See, this is the difference you get on the other side.
That's a different video that I saw, obviously.
Right. Every video I saw was him with his microphone interviewing people.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming he's being charged under the KKK Act, that was ridiculous. The only difficult part to prove will be whether he was a part of the conspiracy to storm the church or whether he was simply aware of it and reporting on it. He was not a part of the conspiracy. He at most, he was probably aware of it, maybe before it happened, maybe a week or so, or maybe a few days before it happened, and he wanted to cover it. Nothing wrong with that. Now, if he was a part of arranging it, that's a different story.
Yeah,
the organizer may have to deal with some stuff, but even then, I still think she'll probably get exonerated because she's an African American lady, and I'm not trying to play the card there for her, but the bottom line is, it doesn't look good for the Trump administration. It doesn't
not
look
a good look
when the president is Caucasian, and then you're dealing with African Americans that are protesting over mistakes that the president's making. It doesn't look good in my eyes. What do you think?
Oh, it looks horrible.
Let's see. Whatever communication occurred that provided him advanced knowledge will be key in either his prosecution or to his defense. I agree to that. If he was part of organizing this, then he's done. If he just found out about the information to be able to be there and report it, then he's exonerated. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
That's it. And if they had that information already, if that information even existed, they would have already brought it out there. Like, look, the FBI could sit there.
They've already gone through his phone.
They've gone through everything. Now, I don't know if they would have to get subpoenas to do it. They probably would, but at least they've already probably gone through it unofficially, which they have access to that. Well, no. You know what it is? Some of the information they would have to get through the platform. So no, they would have to get a subpoena. That's wrong. Correct. I stand corrected. So they have not gone through his phone yet. They need to go to a court, get a subpoena the
phone records, the
platforms,
the
DMs,
computers,
and all that stuff. Either that or Lemon can just hand it over himself.
Yeah.
I mean, but they would still have to verify that, and they probably will. So. And then it all depends. But anyway, there's the difference right there. This is just a bunch of the the conservatives here just having their spin on it. I wanted to show both sides. We didn't need to get into too much detail on it. But anyway, let's go back to full screen, babe. We're at 1 hour and 52 minutes. We need to wrap this up. Any final thoughts?
No, I think we did a really good job covering this subject. It's a very important thing to talk about with everything going on in the world. That's why I felt, we needed to handle this head on and just get our views out, read some other people's opinions, bounce them off each other, and just, okay, maybe one of these conservatives does have a slight point, but, okay, so they're on the right track, but they're not quite there,
Absolutely.
Other than that, great show.
Amen. I have nothing more to add to it, baby.
Thank
you so much for coming up with such a great topic. And this really touches me. I really hope things can turn around, and I really hope that Trump stops going after people that he just doesn't like their opinions of him. I mean, I'm just saddened by the whole thing. But anyway, all right, baby. Guess what? It's time to start wrapping
things.
Hold on.
Oh my. That's your fault.
Oh! All right. You've been listening to the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast, and this has been episode number 46. Topic: we support Don Lemon and the First Amendment. One more time, episode number 46 of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast was about supporting Don Lemon.
Yay!
And the First Amendment. All right. So before we get on out of here, as always, let us remind you one more time that if you're listening to us on the audio-only podcast network, such as, I forgot now.
Apple.
Apple,
Spotify.
Apple, Spotify. Oh my God, I'm losing it. Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music. Your very favorite, babe.
iHeartRadio.
One more time.
iHeartRadio and iHeartRadio.
Excellent. How about fourth time's a
Oh
charm?
my! iHeartRadio.
Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, which is my lady's favorite, Amazon's Audible, YouTube's Music, and all of the rest of the unknown, not as popular audio-only podcast networks. If you're listening to us there, go below in the description, and you'll see the link to the video version of this podcast. Click that link. It'll take you to our main YouTube channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. When you go there, subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications so you don't miss anything. Also, then go below that description and you'll see the link to our live streaming channel, GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development. Make sure you subscribe, bang the bell, and select all notifications there. We go live there pretty much every day, if not almost every day. So that is that. With that being said, baby, it's time to go. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, baby, be good to each other.